Cool. So what I want to do is I want to give this awesome. Thank you, Georgina. I want to give you this special training. Clients with Purpose is our mastermind. It's a 12-month mastermind. And this is a training we typically do for our highest paying clients. But I wanted to give this absolutely for free because I think this will help you make decisions as you're navigating this new landscape and this new reality. And so the reality is the world has changed. We are living in a time of unprecedented decision making. The last time I can remember something this global, having this big of a global impact, was probably maybe the Ebola crisis. Now, I'm in the US, many of you may not be in the US, and so it didn't really hit the US as bad as the coronavirus is hitting right now. And so before that was probably 9/11. 9/11 completely shifted the way the world works, completely shifted the way marketing takes place, the messaging, the way businesses do business. And that was 20 years ago. And so right now, we have the internet now. I mean, social media is completely different than what it was 20 years ago. Things have completely changed, and we're definitely in an unprecedented time. I believe if our business is going to survive and thrive during a time of crisis, whether it's this one or the next one, because guess what? We live in a broken world that is going to continue to experience moments of darkness and global impact. That's completely dangerous. So if we're going to survive and thrive during this crisis and the next one, we have to be flexible and adaptable. We have to be willing to change and to shift things. And change is very scary for a lot of people. I know for myself, being flexible means the things that have worked in the past no longer work. And that can be very scary for a lot of people. The way you've done business in the past may no longer work. We may have to shift and change and enter into new uncharted territory. But that's not a bad thing. What's really interesting about crisis is it forces you into making difficult decisions. The top question really that you're going to have right now is, will you be proud of who you've become on the other end of this? Will you have any decisions that you've made that you'll be proud that you've made on the other side of this? Will your business come out on the other side of this in a way that you can stand in integrity and in honor, recognizing that you did make the very best decisions you possibly could? Now, as I'm going, if you have any questions, please put it in the chat. If you have any gold nuggets, if you have anything you agree on, or maybe you even have a different perspective on, I'd love to know what that is. Let me know in the chat. Now, the hard thing about hard things, I don't know if you guys know who Ben Horowitz is. He's an incredible influencer in Silicon Valley. He's built several billion-dollar businesses. And he said the hard things about hard things, they're hard. They're difficult. Right now, we're put in a position where we're having to make difficult decisions, and there's no way around it. I know a lot of people right now are filled with hope, and I am a messenger of hope. I'm a messenger of, this is an opportunity for you to rise and shine. That does not eliminate the difficult decisions that are having to be made right now. Hey, Kimberly, so good to see you. Now, no, many leaders are making decisions hour by hour, day by day. Any advice I provide is based on my own understanding of the market and from many conversations I've had with coaches, leaders, and mentors, but do not take it as like, this is law, this is how I should be doing it. Be mindful of your own decisions and spend time thinking through your own strategy, okay? So what I want to do right now, real quick, before we get into the group coaching, is I want to answer the 7 most common questions I'm hearing from entrepreneurs. I've been an entrepreneur for about 7 years now, and I've built really great relationships with incredible people, people who are way ahead of me and people who are just getting started. And these are common questions that are taking place at every single level of business. Whether you are just getting started with a business idea, whether you've been in business for a long time, whether you run a multi-million-dollar company, these are the 7 most common questions that are happening at every single level. And I want to help you with some of my own thoughts on these questions. So the first question is this, and I want to know if you've asked yourself this question in the comments. Let me know whether you're live streaming or on Zoom with us. Let me know. I see so many people giving away free stuff. Should I be giving away free stuff right now? And if so, what should I give away? Let me know in the comments. Have you asked that of yourself? should I be doing something during this time? Should I be giving something away? I mean, I see other people, Zoom, a massive company just gave away their software to every single university and education center in the country of the US for free, which is incredible, right? So maybe you have a multi-million-dollar company, maybe you're just starting. Wherever you're at, should you be giving away something for free? Jane says, I just asked that today, especially with all the kids being out of school. So I want to give you a couple of thoughts, and I want to know what your thoughts are as well. Put them in the chat. All right. So right now, I believe is a time for you to do two things. Number one, it's to build goodwill. And number two, it's to build your audience. Right now is a time, like I said, of unprecedented crisis. There's a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety. And so right now, I think there's an opportunity for you to definitely create offers or opportunities or something of value that you can deliver to your audience or to your market and let them know, hey, I am aware of what's happening. And I'm more than just a business owner. I'm a human as well, dealing with the same crisis. Let me do what I can to serve you. So I absolutely think you should be focusing your efforts on building goodwill right now, building your audience. Now you can, but you don't have to give away products, high ticket programs, or software. I personally don't think you should be giving away the store. I don't think you should be giving away products, especially if you're in a non-essential for human survival, in a business that's non-essential for human survival. I don't think you should be giving your products or your highest ticket offers or anything like that for free. You can, and I see some people doing it, but I don't think that's absolutely necessary. What I do think is an opportunity for you to do is give away a couple of different things. Number one, you can give away time. Right now, I did an adoption program in our community where I said, hey, hop on a call with someone and just give them 30 minutes of your time to just talk this out. A lot of people right now are feeling anxiety. And so what they need right now is simply someone to talk about it. They're all at home right now with their spouse, and maybe their spouse is entrepreneurial or business-minded, or maybe they're not. So they're not really being allowed to release all this tension. So just giving away time, saying, hey, if you're in my audience, I want to hop on a call with you and just be able to serve you. Something we're doing right now, right? We're giving away my time, and we're doing this free group coaching call. We're going to be doing group coaching calls every day for the next 2 weeks. Why? Because it only costs my time, and ultimately I want to be able to serve, and that's one way I can do it. Number two is advice. If you, we're going to talk about offers and how to really pivot with your offers, but I absolutely think that right now you have an opportunity to step up as a leader and to be a thought leader. Right now, because it's unprecedented, you have the ability to help people navigate through the challenges that they're facing simply by giving your advice and giving what you think they should be doing. Finally, any low dollar courses or resources. I know I was just talking to a business leader this morning who runs a really large membership site. And one of the things she's doing is she's giving away 30 days absolutely free. Hey, join my membership site absolutely free. You get access to everything for free for 30 days. Typically, she does like a 7-day trial. She extended the trial for 30 days. So if you have a membership site, that's one way to do it. After the 30 days, you can say, hey, if you want to continue, right, there's an opportunity for us to have that conversation. If you have the low dollar courses, you're selling courses for, anywhere from $0 to $100, I definitely think that's an opportunity for you to give away that information for free. That's going to help you build your list, get those contact information. And one thing I would highly recommend you do is get on a call with every single person who takes you up on that offer. Build relationship, build that goodwill. We do have to social distance ourselves, but I want to make this point. We don't have to relationally distance ourselves. Right now is a great opportunity to build relationships with current clients, previous clients, and your audience. So build relationships. So the second question, before I go to the second question, let me know, was that helpful? Let me know in the comments below. Georgina, who's on Zoom, says she's doing live tips is what she's going to be doing for nutrition followers. Mike Davis says, I agree with Sean. I'm seeking goodwill. I am creating something for people based on my programs. Great. Justin says, discount, but don't give it away. People must have skin in the game. Kimberly says, it seems very difficult to charge regular rates in a season of such economic uncertainty. Absolutely. Okay, question number 2. Should I still launch, sell, or make offers right now? Kimberly just said it feels weird selling at a high rate. And if you know me, I'm a big believer in getting paid what you deserve. If you're good at what you do, you should get paid well. But now that we're in a place where the country, at least the US and globally, we're facing really difficult economic obstacles because of this virus and because of things taking place in the government and in society, should we still launch and sell and make offers right now? I'll give you a little bit of insight. We were about to launch a massive program, spend tens of thousands of dollars on advertising, on a marketing strategy, and we pivoted, we shifted because of what's taking place right now. What we're doing is we're going to be discounting our premium offer that we usually charge about $7,000 to $10,000 on. We're reducing that cost by 60%. Why? Because I want people to say, I want to be able to acknowledge the place we're at, and I want people to still be able to say yes to signing up, to getting the quality stuff that we provide our clients, and we want them to still be able to say yes to investing in their business. So we want to make it as easy as possible. Now, I believe you can still sell. Nobody is getting mad right now at Walmart for still being open, right? Nobody's getting mad at businesses and business owners and entrepreneurs and small businesses who are trying to make a living right now. Nobody will shame you. There's a very small, loud, but very small minority of people who are shaming entrepreneurs for trying to make a buck right now. And the only time that I'm ever seeing it is if it's in an unethical situation. For example, what Mike said earlier today, I bought all the toilet paper. Now I'm selling each roll for $60, right? Like that's totally, you're just being a jerk in that situation. And that's completely unethical. And so right now, if you're trying to make a living, everyone else is as well. If you're a business owner, you're trying to sell things, that's not a bad thing. That's the way you make a living. That's how you're going to pay your rent. That's how you're going to put food on the table. That's how you're going to survive through this process. Nobody's going to shame you if you're trying to sell your stuff. Now, let me encourage you though, that the world still needs what you have to offer. Absolutely. Many people have extra time right now to invest. They're hyper aware of their problems. And if your offer could help solve a real problem, they'll be absolutely grateful to work with you. So what I would ask you to do though, is consider creating new offers. Maybe your current offer doesn't fit with the market that now exists. So make sure that your offers fit the current needs of the market. Consider offering additional incentives as well. Add value to the offer if you feel uncomfortable discounting, right? There's just no way I can discount. I can't afford discounting. That's totally fine. There's no problem with that. Find ways to add value though, so the amount of value you're providing is not the same as the price that you're asking, right? You're over delivering on the value. So that could be discounts. I just signed a client today where I said, hey, you know what? For the next few months, I'll give you a discounted rate. Why? Because I want you to get started and I know you need this and you know you need this. So let's at least be able to partner during this time. I'll give you a discounted rate for the next 3 months. And then after 3 months, we can have a conversation about potentially moving forward. Or just add bonuses or add-on incentives. You know, not only you're going to get this, but I'm going to add this additional bundle that I don't normally do. So find ways to add additional value to the things that you're currently selling. Let's see. Paul says, hi, Mike. Mike, you should say hi back to Paul. Justin says, shame isn't biblical. Kimberly says, Justin certainly doesn't apply with couples locked in the house together. Marriage help is really important. Absolutely. Now, number 3. So should you sell? Should you at least try to make a living during this time? Absolutely. But how should you market or message your business right now, especially if it's not essential to human survival? Justin mentioned this, if it's not important, if it's not essential, how do you position it so number 1, it's not unethical. And number 2, you don't feel weird about it. Messaging matters. I'll give you an instance. We were about to do our massive launch, and I literally had about 15 ads already recorded, pre-recorded, pre-edited. We were going to release them all. Like, it was already planned. Yesterday, I re-recorded 3 of them, the 3 that we were going to get started on, rewrote the messaging, and really shifted the way we were doing things. So everything we had prepared over the last month, we're kind of starting from scratch and saying, okay, the world is different. How are we going to approach it from that lens? Number 1, don't be tone deaf. Right now, nobody cares about your Lambo, your mansion. Nobody cares about your lifestyle. People aren't going to buy for that. People are hyper aware of the problems they're facing, and they're hyper aware of their what's called the survival mechanism. So the things that are going to help them stay alive. So you have to make sure that you're not tone deaf while other people are struggling, and you're like, hey, look at me, I'm on this yacht, right? So number 1, don't be tone deaf. Number 2, acknowledge what's happening. I released a video yesterday where I acknowledged it. Hey, this is a tough time in the world, but this is also a time for you to lead. This is a time for you to stand, to shine, and to rise during a time of uncertainty and fear. So this is happening, but this is how I want you to act. This is how I want you to respond. This is what you're called to do during this time. So don't be tone deaf. Acknowledge what's happening in the world, because it's happening. And then number 2, consider your angle. So this is a marketing principle. Most of the time, there's just 2 basic reasons why somebody's going to buy from you. Number 1, a loss of pain. They want to get rid of a pain or a challenge or an obstacle they're currently facing. Or the gain of pleasure. They want to gain something, and that's usually lifestyle or freedom, or they see something and they want to add that to their life. So either they're getting rid of pain or they're gaining pleasure. Right now, a lot of people are focused on pain. So when you're marketing, shift your message to helping people overcome that pain, getting rid of the obstacles that they're currently facing. So my suggestion is focus on the loss of pain angle as opposed to what they're going to gain in lifestyle. Does that make sense? Let me know in the comments below. Any questions that you guys are having, any big insights, any #gold nuggets, let me know in the chat. Paul says, I have a mindset, health, fitness, and nutrition business. Everyone is wondering how to stay in shape at home. 100%. Me and my wife, we just did Beachbody Shanti hip hop abs with Shanti. It was so fun. But now we're seeing all these live streams. There's this 30-day challenge that's taking place where you tag people on Instagram and you have to do 30 push-ups. And so I 100% believe that, Paul, you specifically, or anybody in the health or wellness situation, right now is your time to 100% lead. Absolutely. Sharon, I see your question. We'll go ahead and answer that pretty soon. So question number 4, should I spend money on advertising? I just mentioned we were about to do this huge blitz of advertising. And so if you were ever planning on spending any advertising dollars, should you do it now? Well, honestly, it depends. I was talking to my former business partner, really good friend of mine, Sam Hodgett. If you don't follow him, he is a digital marketer genius. I'm the sales guy. He's the marketing dude. And we were both having this conversation about who should be advertising right now and whether or not you should be spending money in ads. And we essentially came up with, well, maybe it depends. A lot of advertisers, especially big corporations, have pulled out. They've completely stopped social marketing, so like Facebook ads and different things like that, or they've dramatically reduced the amount of money that they're spending, which means that there is more space for you and it's cheaper for you right now. But, and this is a big but, Mike Davis says, yes, I agree. At this point, people are looking for answers for how to get out of their pain, spiritual, mental, emotional, financial. Absolutely. Here are my personal thoughts. I think this is a great time to advertise, but not to do testing. If you have a proven offer, you've sold it in the past, you know it sells, and you know people want to buy it, and you have a message that strongly fits your market. So you don't have to advertise and spend dollars on the testing side. You know, okay, this always converts. This is always sold. Now we just have to shift our angle a little bit. If you have a proven offer and a message that strongly fits your market, then this is absolutely a time for you to spend dollars. I think it's a great opportunity for you to advertise. If you don't have those two things, what I want to encourage you is we're doing a free 5-day Get Clients Challenge. Just go to clientschallenge.com and we'll help you build it. Absolutely free. This is my top training. This is how we are serving our people by giving it to people for free. So all you have to do is go to clientschallenge.com and we'll help you build a proven offer and craft a message that really resonates with your audience. So it's a great opportunity, but only if you have those two things. It's my personal thoughts. Okay, we're almost done. Question number 5, then we'll get into the group coaching. How do I land new clients during this time, right? How do I, if people are very focused on their pain, they're focused on retaining their dollars, right? They're not spending big bucks right now. Right now, this is a great time to do a couple of different things. How do you land new clients? Well, number 1, focus your offers on preparation. People have time right now, like I said before, to do things they've never done before. And this crisis will pass. It's gonna pass. At some point, it's gonna be over and we're gonna look back on it and be able to assess what happened, who did what wrong, who did what right, and how we can be better prepared next time. We're gonna get to the other side. Those who've used this time wisely will be the ones who thrive during this season. Those who use this time wisely will be those who thrive during this season. Justin says, this too shall pass. Absolutely. You know, that phrase always reminds me of Lord of the Rings. You shall not pass. Anyways, I'm a huge nerd. But use this time wisely. Shaniqua says, this is so awesome. My company is called Launching with Purpose. And before the outbreak, I was helping a client create her online course. I decided to pivot and help people build online courses and membership sites. I've gotten so many inquiries. Now is the time for people to move in purpose. Absolutely. I love that. And then I also think you should be focusing on building relationships by leading above the fear, anxiety, and insecurity. What that means is reach out to people. I've reached out to every one of our clients. I've reached out to several of the people I'm just in a relationship with. I've also reached out with complete strangers, but they're in my audience. And I said, hey, how can I help you? How is life doing right now? I mean, this is crazy times, isn't it? How can I serve you? Not only have I done that, but I've also extended a hand to audience members that aren't necessarily a part of my audience. For example, I have a big heart for helping local churches because I believe in the power of the local church, not just on an outreach level, but on a salvation level, right? And so I've sent emails to people saying, hey, send this to your pastors. I've created resources for pastors. Why? Because I want to help them and just build relationship with them. I have no intention of selling to them at any point ever. I have no intention of making them clients because most of my stuff is for entrepreneurs, but I want to build relationship with them because I know there are entrepreneurs who are in their churches, or maybe there's speaking engagements available, right? Who knows what those relationships can lead to? I just want to build a relationship right now, and I just want to help as many people as possible. The best way to do this, the best way to build a relationship is one-on-one. So don't send a mass email, send text messages. I've texted several entrepreneurs that I'm in a relationship with and saying, hey, how's your business doing? You losing clients? I had an hour-long conversation today with somebody who maybe will be a client, maybe not, but just, hey, how can I help you? She had 13 contracts out that all of them ended in 2 days. 13 clients ended their work with her in 2 days. She was supposed to get married last Saturday. Obviously, she had to reschedule that. Like her house is being sold right now, and she has nobody coming to visit. She's in a big city. So I reached out and I said, hey, let's just talk. I don't know what I could do for you, but let's just chat. We built relationship, and she was so appreciative of the time that we spent together. So make sure you're building relationships during right now, and then build your offers and your messaging around, hey, this is going to pass. Are you going to be one of those people who use this time wisely? Final, or 2 more questions, almost final one. Question number 6, how do I keep my current clients when all they want is to pause their work with me? All they want to do is pause their work with me. I want to know, has anybody here, let me know in the chat, or if you're on the live stream in the comments, Has anyone lost clients during this time? Be honest, be completely vulnerable. I'd love to know. There's no weakness ever in admitting something that may be damaging. Let me know in the comments or let me know in the chat. Has anybody lost clients? It's a very tough time. I just talked about my friend who said that she lost 13 contracts in 2 days, which is crazy. She's a social media manager. So it's happening to all of us. Jane says yes. Justin says I've 2 major contracts running out this month. Georgina says, yes, I have, even though I offered the virtual sessions. Good to know. Okay, number 1, you're not alone. We're in this together. We're entrepreneurs. We're locking arms. We're doing this together. We're going to survive this together. So let me give you a couple of things that I shared with my friend who lost those 13 clients that I think will be helpful for you. So how do you keep clients right now? Number 1, don't position yourself as just another contractor. Be a partner. If you have clients right now, reach out to them right after this training and say, hey, how can I offer even more services, potentially for free or for a discounted service? How can I consult? Think of how you can help this business stay afloat. Let them know. My goal is 2 months from now for you to look back on this and say, thank God, we had Georgina. Thank God we had Mike. Thank God we had Paul, who offered to come in and to help additional hours or serve an additional way. So don't just be a contractor. Don't position yourself as just another contractor. Communicate. Hey, I'm in this for the long run with you. I'm gonna figure out how to keep you afloat as well. Just as much as you are, I'm invested in your business as well. So make sure that's your language. Number 2, I absolutely think you should create some type of consultation offer that reduces the cost, but allows you to still help them navigate through this crisis. I almost lost one of my clients. And what I said to them was, okay, I absolutely understand you can't afford X amount, but what if we dramatically reduce that cost? You can still get on a call with me and I can help you navigate what to do through this process. So at least you don't lose the momentum you had before it. So at least we can still make a little bit of progress, or even if we don't make progress, we don't decline. And so we signed a consultation offer. It was really cheap, but at least I didn't lose the client and I'm still making a little bit of money from that client. So absolutely create a consultation offer or figure out a way where you can still retain that client. And even if they have to pause, because that's going to be the reality for a lot of people because of where the recession and the economy is and just things that are happening in the world, if they have to pause, don't pause the relationship. Don't pause the communication. It's one of the most difficult decisions for a business leader and an entrepreneur. You know this as well. If you have a team, is layoffs. One of the biggest decisions is to tell a contractor, I'm sorry, I can't pay you, especially during crisis. We feel that pain. You feel that pain of having to let someone go because that's only going to make this crisis even more difficult for them. But that may be the decision you have to make in order to keep your business afloat so that you can hire them later and you don't go down under and put yourself in a position where you can't get out. So the hard thing about hard things is they're hard. It is not a sign of weakness for a business owner to say, hey, we have to pause our work. It's not in their control oftentimes. So even if they have to pause it, don't get angry at them. Don't shame them. Don't pause your communication with them. Don't pause the relationship. Serve them in simple ways by sending them advice, saying, hey, I noticed you did this. That's great. I think you should also consider doing this. Send them suggestions, send them articles. Don't stop the communication because again, this too shall pass. So when you're on the other side of this, you want to still have that relationship with them where they're like, okay, you really were in this with me. Even though we couldn't pay you because we didn't have the money, you were still there. You were still invested. Build on the relationship. Don't let it fall flat. Okay, so serve them as best as you can. Send them articles. I've been sending articles to our clients saying, hey, this is how your competition's doing it. Should you consider doing it this way? Or this is the messaging. I thought this messaging was really great. Maybe you should consider this. So even if they have to stop their payments or pause their work with you, focus on retaining the relationship. And the last question, then we'll get to the group coaching. How do I lead myself, my team, and my audience when I'm feeling anxious and afraid? in the community that I'm a part of, you know, I'm a believer, I'm a Christian. It can easily be shameful to feel anxious, to feel fear. And so I'm curious if there's anybody here who has felt anxious or anxiety or worry or fear. Let me know in the comments. There's absolutely no shame, no judgment in that. Have you felt uncertainty or fear or anxiety or worry as you've had to navigate through this process? Let me know in the comments below. While we wait for those comments, David says, I don't think I've lost them because they may not have the means to afford my services right now, but I am speaking with them right now and providing as much value as I can, and two have offered to pay me a smaller fee for additional help. That's awesome, David. Justin says, as leaders, we have a responsibility to hold faith, get creative, take action, keep moving forward for our clients, teams, and the kingdom. Absolutely. Just because you don't have the resources doesn't mean you don't have to be resourceful. Just because flights have canceled doesn't mean creativity has canceled. You are a visionary, you are a leader, you have a God-given gift to see an empty field, look past the empty field and see a playground, to see a building, to see something that never existed before. You have creativity and imagination and faith you can tap into. So I love that, Justin. Paul says, yes. Aaron says, absolutely, comes in waves. Jane says, I felt very anxious. Paul says, I have, but staying grounded. Great. So we're not alone. We've all felt this. Number one, you are a leader. Now, being a leader doesn't mean you don't feel fear. It doesn't mean you don't feel anxious. It doesn't mean you don't feel worried. Maybe you're a believer. It doesn't mean you don't feel those things. It's okay to feel anxious, afraid, or worried if, here's a big if, you have a process in place to overcome these emotions and these states of mind. So it's okay for those things to come up, right? I think Aaron says it comes in waves. It's absolutely okay for those things to come up. You're human, you're gonna feel them. If you don't have a plan in place, what's gonna happen is those are gonna overwhelm you and then they'll paralyze you. So you won't do anything, or it'll take you out and it'll cause you to quit. So it's okay to feel those, but only if you have a place to overcome them. So for me, what I recommend you doing as well is put a routine in place. Have a plan in place for when you do feel fear, for when you do feel worried, because it's gonna happen, right? We're human. God wouldn't tell us to not feel fear if we weren't going to feel it. So we're gonna feel it, but then we have a place to pause. For me, it's a quiet time. It's sipping tea. It's journaling. It's praying, it's meditating, it's taking deep breaths in, deep breaths out. It's having conversations with people I trust who can speak hope and life in my own life and keep my perspective correct. It's okay to feel that, but have a plan in place. Put together a routine, okay? Even if it's a simple thing, a small thing like taking a walk outside and enjoying the outdoors and taking deep breaths whenever you feel that. Number two, if you have a team, if you have a staff, if you have contractors, lean on them. If you don't have a staff, lean on your family or your community. This community is a great place for you to lean in and say, hey guys, I'm feeling this way. If you said in our community, guys, I'm feeling afraid, this is what's happening, I don't know what to do, I guarantee you'll have 50 comments by the end of the day, encouraging you, giving you advice, sharing how they've overcome it. This is a great community to lean in. Also, you don't have to have all the answers. And about a week ago, I was feeling all this pressure. I have a team that I lead. I have staff, I have contractors, I have people who've moved to Colorado to work with me. So I have this pressure that I was feeling. And I thought, you know what? I'm gonna let go of that. And I'm gonna reveal what I'm feeling to my team and let them know I need their help right now. Let my community know, let my friends know, I need your help right now because I'm feeling afraid, I'm feeling anxious, I'm feeling pressure. Guess what? They came alongside, they, all right, let's do this. And it builds camaraderie around us. So ask them for their advice, ask them for the suggestions. You can absolutely lean in. And then let's see, Georgina says, I've been anxious, but I'm choosing faith over fear. I don't depend on me, but God, absolutely. I don't focus on what I can or cannot do. That's the antidote for me. I love that. I'm over here with anxiety up to my eyeballs, says Justin. Kimberly says, I've been fighting fear and depression for a while now with uncertain personal situations. This pandemic isn't helping that. David says it's been abnormal for me, but I have to admit the entire thing has got me nervous and anxious. Georgina says, choose my focus. Absolutely. Aaron says, verses and mantras on post-it notes around the house to remind us who we are and whose we are. Absolutely. Mike says, I struggled with fear and anxiety before this all started, so I'm continuing to focus on God's blessings. Great. I love it. And then again, just recognize this too shall pass. Leaders provide hope, stability, and safety in times of crisis. So this is what I have focused on. This is what I've made sure to focus on. I focus on watching my own language. How am I communicating this? Am I communicating in terms of panic? Oh my gosh, what are we going to do, guys? I don't know. Or am I communicating in terms of, okay, this is an opportunity. How can we leverage it? How can we serve people? How can we show it powerfully? Don't use panic language. Watch your language, because your language is powerful. Also, watch your reactions. When you hear the news, when there's a new update, watch how you react, because people are watching you for that reaction and taking cues from you on how they should react. And then also watch what you're consuming and who you're listening to. Listen, if you have the news on all day, every day, you're going to feel a 10 times amount of anxiety than you would normally feel. Why? Because their agenda is to get viewers. They get viewers by showing the most dangerous parts of this thing. So you got to make sure that you're getting all the information you need to make wise and smart decisions, but then let the opinion makers make their own opinions on their own. Shut off the news if you have to. For me, it's not watching the news because we don't have cable. It's listening to, it's listening to podcasts for sure. And then also like on my news app on my phone, like waking up and immediately going there. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to breathe. I'm going to put worship music on for me. I'm going to pray. I'm going to watch what I'm consuming because that's going to come out. This crisis is an opportunity to transform any lifestyle entrepreneurs into visionaries. Maybe you got into business because you wanted the nice things. Totally fine to have nice things. But this is an opportunity to turn your desire for nice things into being a visionary and to being a leader. This crisis is an opportunity to transform skills into businesses. Maybe there are skills that you haven't leveraged, that you haven't turned into businesses. Ask yourself, what do I know how to do, or what can I learn and develop so that I can turn it into a business? As an entrepreneur, your number one job is to go solve problems. You see a problem in the world, you create a solution, and you sell it. So there are problems in the world right now that we've never faced, which is a great time for entrepreneurs to build businesses. And this crisis is an opportunity for you to rise, shine, and lead as an entrepreneur. 100%. Maybe you think you're not a leader. Maybe you think you're just getting started. You are. So that was it. Let's enter the group coaching session. But I want to know, was this helpful? Was this training helpful for you? Let me know in the comments below. And then what was your biggest takeaway? What was your biggest takeaway? Let me know in the comments below. And we'll actually, let's bring in Kimberly. So if you can, if you're able, unmute yourself. So while everyone else is putting it in the chat, let me check in with you. What was your biggest takeaway?
Oh, me? My biggest takeaway?
Yeah.
Well, honestly, and I'll try and say this without crying, one of the biggest takeaways was just being in a room with you and Aaron and Justin and some people that I've known for a while that I consider friends. And I've been like isolated for months before this started. So I'm ahead of you guys, and all I have is a glass fish to keep me company. So this is good. The other takeaway, business-wise, is just really helpful to hear a live person and someone I know and love and trust saying things like keep perspective and focus on how you can serve and being helpful. And it rings true in my head because I know that in the times that I'm the most fearful and feeling the most alone, the biggest help is to be there for somebody else and help them out of that, which helps me too. So I needed to hear that.
That's great. You know, and that really resonates with me specifically because whenever I'm feeling down or I'm feeling like, man, I'm not doing it right today, or I get into a place, I've struggled with depression for many years. When I get to a place where I'm feeling depressed, I know one of the biggest um, solvents of that on a practical level, right? There's the spiritual level, we're going to God, we're releasing it. But on a practical level is I text people. If you ever get a text message from me or a message from me simply encouraging you, it's me needing to hear that same encouragement myself. So it's likely I've left you a voice memo and trying to encourage you because I need to hear it myself. So I love that, Kimberly. Thank you for reminding us.
And I love your voice messages too.
That's awesome. Mike, let me check in with you while everybody's typing in their biggest takeaways. Let me hear from you. What was your biggest takeaway? Finally, good to see you in at least in video.
Yeah, how you doing, man?
Good.
Hey, one of the things I absolutely love is when you said that this is an opportunity for us to be and to become visionaries, and I think that's true. Because when you said that, it kind of also and also the fact that we can be leaders. I think this is a time when we can be in this time and place. We can be the Esthers, we can be the Daniels, we can be the Josephs.
Yeah.
Those were all times of crisis. And God's people spoke up. They had his spirit, they have his wisdom. So being those visionaries, being those leaders, we've got some opportunities in our business right now where we have the opportunity to actually be that. So I just want to encourage everybody with what you said, that we can be the visionaries now. We can be the leaders. We can be those Esthers, those Daniels, those Josephs.
Yeah. And what I love about what you said about Esther is it was a time of crisis, but she was made for such a time as this.
Time as this, yeah.
Right. So guess what? Georgina, David, Sharon, Shaniqua, Justin, Paul, Aaron, Kat, everybody else, Mike, Jenny, Raquel, Jane, you were created for such a time as this. This is not an accident. The fact that you're alive right now during this crisis, there is purpose there. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that, Mike. Let's go with Aaron Tarr, if you can. And then we'll coach a couple people.
Hello.
Hey, so real quick before she shares, if you have a question or you want to be coached or you want to be put on the hot seat, specifically on how we can help your business, how you can, grow your business or sustain during this time, let us know in the comments what your question is so we can pull you in, okay? So let us know in the comments what your questions are, and then we can pull you in to coach you through it. Aaron.
Yes.
What was your biggest takeaway, and how's everything going right now?
Yeah, things are going pretty well. I haven't lost any clients per se, but we were already on a 2-week break. So that's kind of funny because I always try to schedule things around, for those of you that don't know, I work with young girls. And so I try to work things around their schedules anyway. And so we were off for 2 weeks for spring break. So we haven't had to do anything, but definitely what you're talking about as far as like serving people as much as possible. I've been a guest on several local podcasts and video shows or Facebook live shows and different things like this during this time, because people are like wondering, like, my child is home, what do I do with them? My daughter and our relationship is changing, and now we're like with each other 24/7. So it's actually been definitely a time where I've been able to show up in a new way for people and just serve, like you said, and just maintain those relationships and things like that. So it's been good. And I think the thing that I like, where you said you reach out to people when you need the thing that you need, that you're giving, like that very much resonates with me. And it also resonates with me that, like, if I gave into the fear and the anxiety and those types of things, like, I do get in those funks when I realize I'm not living into my purpose. And I know that my business is very much aligned with my purpose in an inexplicable way. And so if I don't serve people during this time, that is when I will fall into that anxiety and depression. And so, like, I almost have to, like, go even further into it because of the, like, ridiculousess of the time, for lack of a better word. So so it really resonated.
That's awesome. It is very much like you I think I once heard, nobody could ever take your ability to love someone away from you. Nobody could ever take away your ability to encourage someone. Nobody can ever take away, like, your ability to bring hope to someone. And so if you give it, you also create it. Which is awesome. I love that, Aaron.
Thanks for
That's
being
great.
here. Thanks
Yeah.
for offering this.
Yeah. Let's go to Nashira. I hope I said your name right. Go ahead and unmute yourself. And what was your biggest takeaway? And tell us a little bit about how life is right now for you.
So the biggest well, hi everyone. I'm Nashira. It's my first time on a call. My biggest takeaway was the building an audience. So I have my own financial therapy practice, and all my clients have been through word of mouth. So people who know me, know my story, have shared it with other people. And I've been a little timid with putting myself out there. So I don't, while everyone gives me great marketing advice, I don't put myself out there. And I think now it's a really great time because a lot of the financial difficulties that people are experiencing, a lot of the work I do with them helps alleviate that even before things like this happen. So without, like you said, not shaming anyone and not being like, oh, well, look at me, I don't have that issue, but really just explaining like how the cognitive behavioral side of finances work and how they can help alleviate that for the future. So
Yeah, that is such an interesting take, a financial therapist.
yeah.
That's so cool.
I just finished my certification in August, but it was really what helped me while I was going through my own financial journey of paying off $60,000 in debt and raising 2 kids in New York City by myself. And so going from that to 6 figures really was like aligning my values biblically and just going to do all that deep work that a lot of us really don't do when it comes to money, whether it be spiritual or not. So
That's really great. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here. And I would recommend anyone who is, interested, like reach out to Nashira. I'm sure she'd be willing to hop on a call with you and just talk through some things. So that's awesome to share.
thank you.
Let's go with Shaniqua.
Hello.
Hey. So what was your biggest takeaway and how is life looking for you right now?
I actually put my response in the comments, but my journey with this whole thing kind of started last year, and God spoke to me and he said, I was praying and he gave me a word and he said, move, just move. And so he gave me a 7-part series that I did on YouTube, and he just kept encouraging me to just take the next step, just move, no matter what happens, just move. And ever since then, I've just been just going at it. No matter what obstacle comes my way, even the coronavirus, still, I just move. So nothing has really shifted because I kind of started off in the low end. So to me, honestly, it looks like growth.
That's
but
awesome.
Definitely have taken away from this to just walk in your purpose. Like now is the perfect time to help people to really focus on their purpose and do those things that they need to do for themselves that they've always wanted to do.
So good. I love that, Shaniqua. And I love how, like, just hearing your voice and your inflection is so hopeful. And right now the world so desperately needs that. So thank you so much for sharing, Shaniqua. Kat, I see you just hopped on video. Go ahead and unmute yourself. Biggest takeaway and how life is going, and any questions you might have.
Absolutely. So thank you so much. I have been listening and I was just waiting, I don't know when. But I typed it already in the chat, but I had a couple big takeaways. And it was, one was said by you and one was said in response to, I think somebody else said it, when you were saying about taking your low end programs and giving them away to your audience. I really resonated with that, but at the same time, I know that a lot of people don't value when you give them things for free, even though they're amazing and they know the content's there. So then somebody said that they have to have skin in the game. So then I thought, why don't I still help people and still also make money? Because I don't want to give my stuff away. I did that for years as a believer, thinking that, you help people, but that didn't work. So what I'm going to be doing is pay what you can. So I'm going to tell them what the program is worth. And then I'm going to say you can pay literally whatever you want, and then they'll have access automatically. So that was huge for me.
Yeah, no, I love that. And to clarify, so when I talked about like giving away your stuff for free, that is low end. That's if you have money coming in from other stuff and that's where you feel led. If not, you can do a pay what you can. I know several people who are doing that right now and doing it really well, and it's working. So there's so many options there. I love that, Kat. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, and I love that. It's for people that I don't know if anybody has. I also have a monthly program. I haven't lost anybody. So what I did for them was on Saturday, I had my first ever virtual retreat, and we were on all day. And I told them that was worth $2,000, which it is. So I got to record my $2,000 program. I got validation from them, and now they know that if they want to continue to have access to that $2,000 program, they have to remain being a monthly member. So that's a way of retaining the money that I'm getting in monthly and adding tremendous value at the same time.
That's a great idea. And it really leans on like just add more value and people will want to stay. So I think that's great, Kat. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So I see Sharon. Sharon, you had a question. How do you product launch and sell as a service provider without discounting? Because for her, it's not going to make that big of a difference. And so Sharon, that's a great question. I know your specific situation. So I'm actually going to refer you to tomorrow's training where we're going to talk a little bit about that. And we have a lot more time. I don't have a lot of time left over today. I also want to encourage you, Sharon, you did take the 5-day Get Clients Challenge. Take it again. I think there'll be a lot of clarity there for you. So go to clientschallenge.com. And then number 3, finally, to get everyone else's perspective, post your question in our Facebook group. And I want to see what everyone else has to say as well. So I hope that was helpful for you, Sharon. I know your question is such a long-winded answer. So that's why I want to kind of keep the ball rolling. Let's go with Mike Saunders.
Hey, so the unmute button was not working. Hey, so I think for me,
any questions you have.
Yeah, I was just going to say that today was great because we see successful entrepreneurs that we all are that typically would put the best foot and face forward, but yet we can say, ooh, I lost this. Ooh, this was not good. This is not, I feel fear. I feel anxiety. So I think that, being transparent and authentic and seeing other people doing the same is a nice collaborative, feeling. So that's really good. And then to feel that encouragement for the group today and moving forward is awesome. So I think that's just what we've got to do is just keep that, keep kind of like, what was it? The kids years ago was watching the movie, the Meet the Robinsons. And I remember that phrase that they kept saying is keep moving forward. And that's what we just need to do. So thank you, Sean, for doing this call. That was really awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. And just to kind of lean on that, as entrepreneurs, specifically as influencers, right? We're leaders in our communities. We have audience members that look up to us for our response, our reactions. It's really difficult sometimes to have a place where we can be vulnerable and just be real and share about these real business things that we're facing. And especially, I don't know if anybody's familiar with like the Enneagram personality test. I'm a 3, which means it's very easy for me to just want to be impressive. I just want people to like love what I do. And it's so difficult at times for me to naturally be vulnerable and just to be real and, hey, this is what I'm facing. And to have a place that has been created by all of you really, to be able to share, like, this is where we're really at. Let's navigate it together. So important. So thanks so much for bringing that up, Mike. Any questions, Mike, or anything like that?
No, I think my main thing coming in would have been, how do you feel comfortable offering programs and prices still? But we covered that really, really well, is when you have a product that's helpful and when it's not taking advantage and it's priced right, whether it's pay what you can or very low price, then wonderful. Let's see what we can do. And then I think another big thing, and I'll go back to the takeaway, is let's do the one-on-one and the personal touch. And, I found myself last week doing 100% more personal one-on-one Zoom video calls rather than an email or a quick, phone call. So I think that's another great point. But yeah, no, my question would have been, how to ethically offer products and services, and we all covered that really well.
That's great.
Thank you.
Let's go with David, and then we'll go with Raquel and Jenny, and I think that might be the last people. If I missed you, or Georgina, I don't think we've gotten to you yet. So David, biggest takeaway and any questions?
Yeah, so I would have to say that the community here is one of the biggest takeaways, and that, as Kat was saying, like the audience, building your audience right now, and just providing as much value, just being here for everybody during this time. Because right now, is it really about the money? How much do we need to just, to survive? But also right now is the time to build your legacy, right? Because you can really make an impact now and in this time, because you can really show the value, right, of what you want to do for people. And I think that's the biggest thing. Because right now with me and everybody else, I was kind of freaked out when all my clients started saying, well, now's not the time, like I don't really, like they're all freaked out. And then I was just like, I just took a step back and I said, okay, let's try and see what we can do for you, right, during this time. Let's see what information, because you still have to value your time, right? But that doesn't mean that, and as you said, you don't have to give away the cow, but you can still provide as much value as you possibly can within a certain time frame. Those who can afford it, hopefully, because you don't know what type of network you can build off of this right now. Who can afford you, right? So that was one of the biggest things. My question, I don't know if if anything. So I have a toddler right now, and my wife is pregnant. So if anybody has like the biggest. Yeah, I know. Thank you so much. So if you guys know anything about time management, right? So that's probably my biggest thing. How do you create, 48 hours and put in a 24-hour bag?
Yeah. So I'm gonna recommend Kimberly, if you guys can hop on a call, because Kimberly's really good at organization and administration and making things happen. I would also talk to Erin Tarr, who works with younger people as well. And then anybody else who's like, hey, I want to throw my hat in the ring, I'd chat with them. Time management with kids, I can only speak to the fact that I'm a dog parent. I don't have real, actual kids yet. So the worst thing I have is like the 3 walks I give him, and I can't say that too loud or else he'll get crazy because he knows the word walk. So I would definitely recommend talking to some of them in regards to the time management. And then something else that I was talking to a parent about was, this might be, I don't know how old your kids are, so maybe this doesn't apply, but for everyone else listening, maybe this might be a great time for you to bring them into your business and introduce them to what you do. If you're working from home and you normally don't, or there's just extra time in your day, where you can say, hey, sit with me and look at how I'm doing things. So that might be really cool. So, but yeah, they're going to be much more able to guide you in regards to kids and management. Let's go with Raquel. I know you're on the phone, so maybe you can't hop on. Just let me know if you can. There should be a button. I can also unmute you. Raquel, you there?
Yes, how are you?
Hey, there you are. How are you?
Good, how you doing?
Good. Now, I know you were listening in, so what was your biggest takeaway? And if you have any questions, you can share that as well.
I'm actually probably the odd one of the group, because of the fact that I know this course is basically more so for service providers and for coaches and things like that. I mean, I'm a entrepreneur, just started, but it has nothing to do with coaching. But I like the things that you say, the advice that you give, and so I just keep, every time you have a live or something, I keep listening in just to get more information on how to go about things in different ways. But I don't have a.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about what do you do?
I just started a online boutique for women's clothing.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, I just did that. And basically it's towards. It's for of course Christians. It's called Simply Salted. So because we're supposed to be the salt of the earth, so that's why I get the name from. And so basically, yeah, I just like to hear the things that you say, you know, the advice that you give, and even the people that reply, their responses to things. So I'm just learning, basically.
Yeah, that's great. I love it. I'm trying to think of a couple of like e-commerce people that I know of that may be able to kind of guide you a little bit more from a biblical perspective.
Mhm.
I can look into like my mental Rolodex. Nobody's coming up like right now, but I'll keep an
Okay.
eye out. And if anybody else knows of somebody who's really killing it on the e-commerce side, or
Mhm.
like physical business, like let Raquel know. I think that'd be really helpful for her.
Thank you so much. I
Yeah.
mean, even the advice that you as talking about introvert and everything, like I'm an adult. I'm in my 30s, and I've never had social media. And the fact that, you know, starting a new business, you like you said, you have to get out there and all this other stuff. So I'm like cringing, but, you know, making steps as, you know, as I go and everything, and trying to do, you know, Instagram and the whole Facebook and all this other stuff. But, you know, just to hear you and your advice and to get the other replies to see how they're feeling and how they go about things is a great help. And I just want to say thank you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thank you so much, Raquel. I appreciate that. And last but not least, I think oh no, we have two more. So let's go with Jenny, and then we'll finish up with Georgina. So Jenny, if you're able to unmute yourself, maybe you're just listening in. I'll give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, if you can still let us know in the chat. Georgina, we'll move on to you. Biggest takeaway and any questions?
So I think that my biggest takeaway was really when you said, how can I help people overcome the pain? And I think that there's a consistency with that. As a nutritionist, I'm always trying to help people overcome the pain of being unhealthy. To me, you know, the foundation of my entire practice has not been, I don't want to be known as somebody that puts people on diets. I really usher in a lifestyle change, you know, to eating for the nourishment of our bodies and not to idolize food, because we are Christian people. You know, I can talk to you guys about it like that, you know. And so just now, you know, they have a different, well, they have the same pain problem, but it's now intensified because in an era where people rather have takeout, now they're stuck at home with all these things and they don't know how to put it together. So I'm identifying that pain point where I can come in and help, you know, and obviously, you know, making a short video, even with my phone, because I'm not techie either. Yeah. I am not, and trust me, someone else had said, you know, this Instagram and Facebook situation, I'm just like, oh, you know, it's a pain for me. I'm sorry, I'm old school. I'm getting old.
Before you move on, who else here is not a techie? Okay, so there's several people here who are not techies as well. Kind of there, maybe not. So you're not alone.
All right, we have a similar pain point, everybody. So, you know, going back to, you gave me my focus back because, you know, I kind of lost it for a moment, and now what am I going to do? And does it change my industry? No, it doesn't change my industry. It's just a different shade of the industry that now I need to tackle. But I thought to myself, to me, it wouldn't be like giving such a big deal of a giveaway to just say, hey, you guys, your kids want ice cream, let me show you how to make protein ice cream. That's the thought that I had.
I need to me that, because ice cream's my thing, man.
I will certainly send you that, Sean. But and then I think that, you know, the other thing that you said that just really convicted me, I'm not going to say that I felt bad or no, it convicted me when you said, don't let them fall flat. Because, you know, I do believe that people that come and hire me, God's entrusted them to me, their lives. It's not just, yeah, of course, it's awesome to make a living out of what I'm most passionate about. But, you know, I did get a little sour last week when I got the cancellations. And I was like, traitors, and I got a little judgmental, and I did get a little, sore. But, today when you said that, I just thought, okay, I need to, have a kingdom mentality versus the flesh mentality that gets sore. So those were my takeaways. And my question is, so in consultations for me, in office consultations, I have a piece of equipment that scans the body. It's not just a handheld thing. It's a thorough, exam. And so based on that, I designed their meal plan. So a lot of people like that technology aspect, but in order for me to do virtual consulting, I go back to the old school, ratios of taking measurements and me finding out, what the fat percentage is, and then designing the meal plan. I'm able to do that without technology, but how do I overcome, the fact that they're not going to get that kind of technology, but I do believe that the best benefit is that they're going to get a customized meal plan. They're still going to get recipes and shopping lists because just this is what I do, but do I adjust the cost because they're not going to get the printout, the report, and the scan?
Yeah, that's a great question. So let me ask a clarifying question. On the manual side of like you taking the information and then getting the calls and all that stuff, or getting like all the numbers and the measurements and all that stuff, are you doing practically what that machine is going to do just automatically in like a cool technological way?
No, it's really doing old school calculations.
Okay.
Mathematics, and then also gauging, what it was that they, their activity level, all those things matter, and then I also look at them, to see how their body's changing.
Yeah. So are they getting the same result without that, I guess?
Yes, 100%.
They're not paying for the process then? Not at all. They're paying for the result. So
exactly. If
you're doing it the old school way, or you have this cool technological thing, if their result is essentially the same thing, the process is just different now, they're paying for the result. So the value of the result doesn't decrease because you're getting it in a different way. I do think though, having something in person that they can like step into and do that whole technological thing, that is definitely an added value.
Yes.
That you are just having to shift the way you're doing it for now. So I in no way do I think you should lower your price.
Okay, perfect.
Because it's virtual.
Okay, got it. Yeah. Thank you so much. It's been like a pleasure. Thank you. Thank you for creating this for us.
Yeah, it was so great to meet you, Georgina and Nashira and several others that I met for the first time today. It was pretty cool. Maybe we've met before, but it was really great to meet you guys in person camera. We are going to be hosting things like this. We're going to be doing group coaching calls, as well as, so tomorrow we're going to be doing a virtual co-working space. So what that means is you're going to hop on Zoom, and it's not going to be a Q&A. It's not coaching. It's no training. It's simply all of us saying, okay, during this next hour, this is what I want to accomplish, us accomplishing it, and then us celebrating the accomplishment of it together. And if you do have questions during that time, there's a chat available, but simply a virtual co-working space for accountability of, okay, I'm going to stay focused on this one thing. I'm going to do it. And then we can all celebrate together. So that's what's going to happen tomorrow. It's going to be the same time. And, I'll see you guys then. Thank you guys so much. You guys are incredible. Go lead, go shine, go rise, go change the world. God bless everyone.